We're already at the middle of the year, so we're wrapping up June. Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome if you're new. I'm Vandy, and we are wrapping up June. And I can't believe that we're already at the midway or halfway of the year already. It's honestly insane because time is flying by so fast. But I'm doing another wrap up, so you know what that means. I'm wrapping up books, shows, and giving some reflection. So let's get into it. Starting off with books, I read 4 books for June, and one of them being a nonfiction, so that's good. So I'm gonna go in chronological order. So yeah. First off is To Steal a Throne by Gabi Burton. This is a YA. I'm not sure if it's romantasy. I know there is fantasy elements in it, but there's also some romance in it, so I'm not quite sure if it's categorized in romantasy, but it also gives a little bit of Penelope vibes from Bridgerton in the way that she was doing the writing and stuff. I forgot her name, but it gives that vibe. And yeah, but we are following this girl who is helping her brother in this realm where there are preceptors or rulers, and she is, I guess, she has a magic ability to detect lies. So she is gathering secrets and also is sending out rumors and keeping the secrets to help her brother get the throne. So in order for her to get like some sense of freedom, and then while that was happening and her brother was supposed to get the throne, a son of another, not preceptor, like someone in the group was known that he was his son and wanted to attain the throne as well. So now they're in this whole debacle of throwing him off so she can get her brother into the seat of the throne. This is all on the top of my head, so please forgive me if I'm like spacing out or anything. But yeah, overall, I thought this book was good. I really liked the premise of the book, but sometimes I felt like I got annoyed with our main lead. I understand where she's coming from in a sense of she wants to help her brother in order to obtain freedom, but at the same time, her brother wasn't necessarily helping her. He is more of a puppet, I should say. So I just like, girl, you're putting too much trust into him, and time after time, he just kept on proving that he doesn't have your back. So I felt annoyed in that sense of her doing, like, her risking her life to have him on the throne, but every time that she needed him, it just failed every single time. So but I felt like this book was okay. Next is The Legend of the Nine-Tailed Fox by Katrina Kwan. And this was also giving C-drama vibes. I really liked this book. This is a YA as well. I think it's romantasy as well. We are following a nine-tailed fox and a demon hunter. The demon hunter also has more to him than what we can see. So we are following him, chasing after her because he's trying to get rid of all the demons. And he caught her, but when she was sentenced to hell, she dragged him along with his 2 partners in crime, I should say, into hell with her. And so once they got into hell, they have to try to figure out a way to get out of hell. And to do that, you have to go through different trials within the realm of hell. So it was interesting to see how they got into, how they got out of the different trials, what the different trials represent. And it was also interesting to see how throughout the trials and how much they spent time how much time they spent together, they started to have more of respect for one another and each other's kind, and also start developing a little bit of feelings for each other. So it was kind of went from mortal enemies to kind of like friends to lovers. So I really like that, and I really like the pacing of it too as well. Up next is The Auction by Sadie Kincaid. This is my first time reading from her, I think, and I'm not sure how I feel. I did a whole reading vlog. I haven't edited it yet, so it might come after this video. But this is definitely dark romance. Definitely has a whole bunch of trigger warnings, and definitely age gap. And this is, oh, definitely, please read the trigger warnings. This has to do with trafficking, and we are following this girl who has been essentially sold by her grandfather because her father was a traitor of this society called the Brotherhood, and our main guy, he saves her by buying her for like a whole bunch of money that I wish I could see in my lifetime. But he bought her. She thinks that she is like his, if you know what I mean. But he is a vigilante in a sort of way with the Brotherhood, trying to save girls from there, but he's never really bought any of them except for when it comes to her. And she starts developing feelings, and I was like, okay, you know, I wasn't really down for the whole buying thing necessarily, but you know, fictionally, I don't know. But I was like, okay, they're developing feelings, that's fine. And there's an age gap, that's fine, but I didn't know how big the age gap was, and then I found out how large the age gap was. I was like, ooh, okay, I probably will pretend that you're like in your 30s. And then we start really seeing the development of what the relationship is between the two of them, like familial wise. And when I found that out, and that was like towards the end, I honestly was kind of disgusted, because like how are you having that level of attraction to her, and y'all were already hunching and doing things, and then poor girl doesn't know how to really stand up for herself, because, or she doesn't really know anything because she was groomed to be within the auction. So, and I felt kind of weirded out that he was kind of teaching her, in a sense, because of, I don't know, the dynamic of it all. But once I found out the age and then the relationship between the two of them that she didn't know about, yeah. But I did like the plot line. I did like how the story progressed. I just didn't like the relationship, like how they connect, like how they are connected. I just felt like if that wasn't in there, I felt like it would have been better. But I felt like we find that out, all those news at the very end. So I was like, well, I have to finish this book. And then the book was left off on a cliffhanger. So I was just like, I don't know. But and then like that makes me wonder, like, should I read the second book? Not like for the relationship. I just kind of want to know, but the plot, like plot wise, where this is all going to go. I'm kind of curious. I'm kind of curious, honestly. But who knows? But overall, I don't know how I feel about it. I'm kind of disgusted in some ways, but I'm like, the plot line without like the disgusting parts was fine. It was good. So I do kind of want to read another one of Sadie's books. So we'll have to see. I have to see because I don't know. Last book is my nonfiction, and that is What to Wear and Why by Tiffanie Darke. At first, I thought this was going to be about styling, which is kind of what it is, but this is about how we can be more sustainable with clothes. And there was a lot of facts in there, like how people only wear like an outfit or a item of clothing for 7 times before throwing it out, and how much water and how much carbon use, how bad some of the labor laws are in different countries when it comes to manufacturing clothing. It was very interesting, and then also going into the details of what materials are best used for sustainability, and going into the materials that are materials or fabrics that are made from plastics and don't really biodegrade in a good way. So it was very interesting. And then towards the end, she goes into like the capsule wardrobe. So it wasn't necessarily what I thought it was going to be, but I really enjoyed it, and I felt like I learned a lot from this. But those were all the books. So let me know if you read of the same books as well. Let me know your thoughts. And on to the shows. Okay, so I watched like 9 shows. I watched a whole bunch of C-dramas, K-dramas, and I did watch another J-drama. So without further ado, in no particular order, let's start off with My Boss. This C-drama was definitely interesting. So we are following a girl who is a lawyer, or starting out her career as a lawyer, and she rented this place, but the renter actually double rented or double booked the place. So she is now roommates with this guy, and it turns out that this guy is her boss. They're figuring out the dynamics of being roommates, and also she is figuring out her way of being a lawyer and handling all the cases that she has to do. I felt like this was okay, and I felt like the main 2 characters were annoying at some parts of it, so I felt like this was okay. Next is Monthly Magazine Home, and this is a K-drama that we are following another workplace romance. We are dealing with an editor that is working at a home magazine. She's an editor at a home magazine, and she was hired essentially to follow the CEO, who has kind of a reputation of being difficult to work for, but she is in a predicament that she really needs to work so she can have this space. And then in a sense, she follows his advice on his YouTube channel, because he is kind of like he saves a lot of money, and she wants to take inspiration from him. So his YouTube video series is kind of like Dave Ramsey vibes. So she starts taking that, and then next thing you know, they start getting close. They have feelings for each other. Yada yada yada. So yeah, I felt like this one was okay too. I like the aspect of when they were going through the houses, they have like the different specs and stuff to like when you go like see or walk through a house as well. And some of the homes that were shown were actually really beautiful and kind of insane too. I'm like, the insane part is like how much money like some people have and how that translates into their home. So yeah, very interesting, very interesting. Ooh, next is Everlasting Longing, and this C-drama, I won't lie, this one was really good. And this has to do with a merchant who is hiding her identity as a man, and she has to serve her clan in order to make a deal or trade in somewhere. But along the way, her entourage, her people, while they were making the trade, got ambushed by a bunch of bandits, and then our main guy comes in, and I guess like at first you would think that he was trying to like kill her, but he was actually trying to find her or him, because he was trying to figure out who killed his parents, and because the weapons that were used were actually designed by her. And yeah, so this was really good. It was also figuring out how to find their, I guess, romance from being in two different clans. And let me tell you, the main character, the main guy, he's so good. Especially, this is my first time seeing him in like the historical costume C-drama like this. And listen, him with the long hair, he was looking good. He was looking good. Yeah, and let me tell you, usually when I watch C-dramas, when they kiss, it's usually, okay, I'm gonna show you. But usually when they kiss, it's usually just mouths touching like this, like kind of like a peck, but like it just stays there for longer to make it seem like a kiss, especially like the first time. But when he kisses, when they kissed, it was okay. These are the lips. Okay, are you following? These are the lips. They were kissing. Okay, the lips were lipping, and they were kissing, and they were turning heads, and they were, you know, it was good. It was so good. And I was like, ooh, go ahead and kiss her. You know what I mean? I really enjoyed this one. I really did. But the ending though, the ending just left me kind of like confused and kind of irritated in a way, because I'm like, that's not necessarily how I wanted the ending to be. But you know, what can I do? I have no control over it, and I'm just watching for entertainment. So, but I really enjoyed this one. Can you tell? Ooh, apparently I've been into a lot of office romances this month. So next is What's Wrong with Secretary Kim, and this K-drama was definitely a relationship between a secretary and I think in this one he was like a vice chairman or something like that. I don't know. Basically CEO, but ahead. Secretary Kim, she's worked for the vice chairman for like 9 years or so, and she one day was like, I quit, and for personal reasons. And the vice chairman was blindsided, and he's like, did I do anything wrong? She's like, no, but she is trying to find the person that she had a traumatic event with, and find him because they made a promise to each other. And lo and behold, at the end of the day, he kind of has a connection to that whole event in her as well. And so there's also a mysteriousness within that realm and dynamic as well. So it was very interesting. It was actually pretty good. But I feel like I was in a whole bunch of office romance this month. I don't know. I don't know what it is. Going back to another, I guess, fantastical C-drama. It is Back from the Brink. And this is following a dragon lord, a demon lord, and like these, I don't necessarily want to call them like demon hunters. They're not demon hunters. They're practically maybe mages. Maybe mages is the correct term for it. And an evil mage was supposed to marry the dragon lord, but she ends up stripping him of all of his abilities, and the final piece that was needed, he threw into like space, and it landed into our main female lead's heart, and she ends up being found by the same clan that the mage is from, and she was raised with them. And then next thing you know, her and our male lead meet, and because she has, you know, the heart thing, the one of the aspects of him that he needs, and they agree to find all the missing parts of him so he can be have his powers back. I feel like I'm not great at explaining the premise, but it was actually really good. It was actually really cute. Did I get annoyed with the female lead? Yes. As well as the main lead. I meant male lead? Yes. I feel like when it comes to like historical C-dramas or like costume C-dramas, I feel like the communication, the miscommunication between the two leads are very much so heightened, and I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. But, you know, I guess you gotta figure out a way to, like, keep the show going. But I felt like this didn't need to be 40 episodes. But up next, I watched another J-drama for the second time. And that is the Yakuza boss's beloved. Y'all forgive me if I'm pronouncing anything wrong, but this J-drama is following. This is another office romance, essentially. Wow, I'm really into office romances this month, apparently. But this was following a girl who was dating her boyfriend, who was from her office, but found him cheating with another co-worker of hers, and her boss, that is also a Yakuza. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly. A Yakuza boss as well, but just kind of like a Japanese mafia, I think. Don't come for me. I think. So she ends up being kicked out of her home, but her boss finds out and allows her to stay with him for the time being, and he kind of already has a crush on her, so he's making advances, but she is like kind of like slow, even though she does have a crush on him, but she literally just got out of a relationship. And her ex is trying to get back with her, and the, I guess, new girlfriend of the ex is trying to get with the boss because he has more money and she's a gold digger. So I feel like J-dramas in general are shorter, which I love. But also at the same time, it kind of like moves fast. But it also moves fast because the episodes are shorter. I feel like each episode was like 20 to 30 minutes. Not even 30 minutes, more like 20 minutes. So I feel like we are moving fast paced. So I'm not sure if I love that or hate that. I'm not sure. I kind of feel like I have a love-hate relationship with that. But I really did love the J-drama. And I definitely want to watch some more. I just gotta find them. Now going into kind of like esports, we have Go Squid. I don't know why every time when I think about this show, Go Squid, I think Duck Duck Goose. Is that taking it too far? I don't know why that tickles me as well. But Go Squid, we are following esports, but not necessarily esports in a way that I think about it, like video gaming. I feel like it's like intercepting or intermingling gaming and cybersecurity. I don't know. I didn't really get the premise, but we are following this girl who is like in graduate school, and a guy that is like a captain of his own, or the owner of his own esports group. They met at an internet cafe, and she fell head over heels for him all at once. First love at first sight. And he's a big grump. So we have, I feel like the dynamic is Grumpy Sunshine, like 10-year age gap. And I feel like this didn't have to be 40 episodes. Honestly, it did not have to be 40 episodes at all. I feel like it could probably be like 20 episodes at the most. I felt like they kept on yo-yoing back and forth with the dating, and we're not dating, but I still have feelings for you, yada yada yada. So I don't know, it was okay. I wish I had a better understanding of like the esports. I didn't necessarily get like it showed like a whole bunch of coding, but they can only use like the ASDW keys as well as a mouse. So I was a little bit confused. So I don't know. Next is Melody of Golden Age, and this was actually really good. It was kind of sweet as well. We have people who met when they were younger, but then when they grew up they lost touch, and now they kind of like met again. So that's the dynamic that we are following. We're following a girl who wants to solve cases, and she really wants to investigate things and solve crimes and murders and stuff. And her sister was supposed to marry this one guy, chief inspector. I don't necessarily remember the name, but he's like head of something. But her sister ran away, so in order to take her place, our female lead marries him. But not knowing, well, she knows that he is the kid that she met when they were younger, but he doesn't know because he has a vision problem. And so she thinks that he doesn't remember, but he doesn't really remember her because he couldn't really see her face. So, but they start off as enemies and then start to solve like these cases together, and then they start falling in love with each other, and then in order to fight the powers that be that are within the royal court, you should say, because there's a mistrial or a misjudgment that was passed on to our male lead because his father was accused of something that he didn't do and was put down for it. So they are trying to solve that cold case, you can call it. So yeah, but it was actually really good. And then last but not least, I feel like I've saved the best for last. And that is Teach You a Lesson. This K-drama was so good. We are following this new established entity within the Ministry of Education called the ERPB, which is, I think it's called the Educational Rights Protection Bureau. And what they do is they go into schools that are sweeping things under the rug. The students are being mistreated, which is like bullying. The teachers who aren't being mistreated, and any of the factors that could go wrong within the educational system. And let me tell you something. This was so good. You get hooked on it from the first episode. So first episode, this student is struggling because another student hurt themselves, and that incident was swept under the rug because the bully per se has a father that is in high standing within the court system or government system in Korea. And the bullying for this one student was just so bad. And let me tell you, up until the point where the inspector came in, I was hot. I was so mad, and I wanted to go up in there and slap that. I wanted to beat up these bullies so bad. And then when I wanted to beat them, the first inspector came in. The first inspector just smacked this kid. I said yes. And usually I'm not for violence, but in this instance, you asked for it. And it was just so good. And the different types of cases that they took on were just so good. So each episode goes into different schools, but also different dynamics that would affect a student and or teacher and or parent. So yeah, this was so good. I had so many laughs within this. I recommend this show to everybody and their mama. Everybody needs to watch this show. Whoever wants to become a teacher needs to watch this show. Our parents need to watch this show. Just everybody needs to watch this show. So I really hope that you guys watch the show, and then we can yap about it in the comments. And if you have watched any of the shows that I mentioned today, please let me know in the comments, because I really want to yap with y'all in the comments and chat with y'all. So those were all the shows that I watched. So I guess we can go into the reflections. So since we're in June, I guess we can mix in a little bit of mid-year reflections over the first half of the year. So I guess so far I've read 25 books this year. I feel like that's okay. I mean, I don't necessarily have a goal when it comes to the amount of books that I read, but I feel like with like life and everything, I feel like 25 books is actually pretty good. So it is what it is. I feel like this month I haven't been putting up videos as much, and that is because my laptop is overheating. And I think that's because it's just hot in general. So when it's hot, my computer is working, and then since it's hot, it's overworking and it's overheating. So I feel like I haven't been putting out videos, as much videos as I wanted to, but there's nothing much I can do about that. But I'm so thankful that you guys are watching, and I just know that I want to put out videos, but you know, given the circumstances, I can't. But I am working with what I have, so I hope that you guys can bear with me and stay along. Another thing so far this year is I haven't been working on my book journal like I wanted to. I haven't worked on the collages. I haven't really been coloring in my bookshelves. I haven't been working on my new releases pages, so I really want to get back into that. But overall, I feel like this month has been pretty good. Hopefully I have some good news coming soon. But I don't know, it is what it is. But I feel like overall it's been good, and I can say that we have 32 of us now. There's 32 subscribers, and I remember just starting in January with 0. Well, not 0, mainly 2, because my sister and my best friend. But there's 32 of us now, and I'm so thankful that you guys are here with me and following me on this journey, and I really appreciate it, because you know, sometimes it can be difficult to create videos and kind of just like leave it out there for people to see. And I don't know. I kind of have imposter syndrome, but honestly, I'm doing this for myself, and because I love yapping about books. I love yapping about the things that I enjoy, but also want to see memories as well, and maybe see the growth that happened within myself. So yeah, but those were all my reflections and the books that I've read and the shows that I've watched. So let me know in the comments if you had a great month as well. Let me know how it was. And yeah, so thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. And until next time, friends, stay curious, stay cozy, stay reading. Bye, guys.